Hey folks, Brian here from Mr. Outs Gaming, and we've got another special video here for you today because Plaid Hat Games, they're at it again. They have now released preview number 3 for the Siege of Lordswall expansion for Ashes Reborn Red Rains. I am really excited because this really kind of is starting to round out that player deck that we are going to be getting in that expansion. So why not? Let's hop on over and let's take a look at exactly what are they showing off this time round, and let's try to wrap up our thoughts of what's happening here. So yes, we can see the Siege of Lordswall preview number 3. He's labeling it Holy Magic. And so yes, we are going to be keep on going with this mono divine magic pre-constructed deck. And the first thing that they're showing off here is an alteration spell on a unit. So what you have to do, and as a side action, it says for a divine power, so it's fairly expensive. You have to have that divine power. It says when attaching this spell to a unit you control, you may choose a divine die in your exhausted pool and resolve its dice power without paying its cost. We've seen that. That's a very common theme across most of these cards, is taking the dice that have been exhausted already and bringing them back and activating the dice power, buffing up your units. And the unit now has this following ability of Pride. This unit cannot be guarded or guarded against. So now you are giving a unit the ability to strike anything you want it to strike without having to worry, let's say, about in the Red Rains mode. You don't have to worry about the Chimera guarding the attack because it can't be guarded against. Or you are getting through, in case there's some of those nasty units that have the defender ability, you can now just straight up just attack the Chimera and or any other unit in play without getting around that. On the flip side though, whoever this is attached to, you cannot guard for them. So that is kind of like that's the theme of the Pride is coming through here. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here, but I think you may be able to buff up a unit or two and be able to attach this onto them and be able to, get them an extra, attack power, and then have them also have the ability to not be guarded against it. It's a side action, so it means you can side action this first and then swing. You can then attack with that particular unit that you just attach this to. So that is kind of a nifty little timing thing that we could have there. Pride. I see this one working very well. If I kind of go back to the very first one, and when we had the Silver Paladin, yeah, we can really, make use of him. Going after a whole bunch of different units here. So Pride seems like it's going to be a really nice one. Expensive though. It does need that power side to be showing in order for you to buy this one. Fork Lightning. I like this one. First of all, it's got the Daimona art on it. Really, really nice. It's also a side action, but only for a class this time around. It says choose 2 target units an opponent controls, and if you do, you just deal 1 damage to each of those target units. Hey, they are describing this to tear through the enemy swarms with Fork Lightning. This spell is specifically designed to handle the impending Rainwalker hordes that are going to be laying siege to the Lordswall castle. So maybe that might be giving us a little bit of an insight that maybe some of these units are only maybe going to have 1 damage to deal to them. Maybe they're coming at us with big attacks, but maybe they have low life values, maybe even just 1. So having this at our disposal to help us deal with those situations is kind of really going to mean, I just like it anyways too, because you face off against opponents that have just like some of those smaller units that only have the 1 life, and you can get a little bit of board control with this card. I really, really like it. Cost is appropriate, and even as a side action, so you could clear out a couple things, and then even you can do your own attack or your own things afterwards. So really quite neat card. I like it. I love the art on it. I love its ability. I like this card a lot. I like that card a lot. And then finally, the card we get here is we get Intercession. We get a reaction spell. Once again, for a power die side in this case. And here, let's read through the reaction here. It says, you may play this spell after an opponent declares an attacker that is targeting a unit you control. Notice it says unit, not Phoenixborn. Choose another unit you control to gain the following abilities for the remainder of the turn. You can give another unit the unit guard ability, so it can guard the attack that's coming in. That's actually pretty important and neat. And also it gives it alert, which also means you do not place exhaustion token on the unit as a result of countering. So not only is it going to be able to guard the attack, and if it survives the attack, it can counter, and it does not have to exhaust, meaning that it's available to use again on the subsequent turn that you are going to then end up taking. Again, it's got that paladin artwork on it, and I think that works really, really well with that silver paladin card because he has a high life value, can soak up some damage, and since he will be countering, a base attack of 3, he's clearing out a bunch of things along the way, and as long as you're using this card, he is not going to exhaust as a result of countering. So that's pretty powerful in itself. I can justify why it's on the power side. Actually, some of these reaction spells we've seen with these very nice big effects do require that power side to be available to you in your dice pool. And that seems to be one of the last player. That's going to be one of the last player cards we're going to see. We have had 3 previews now. We've had preview number 1, preview number 2, and preview number 3 here. Each of them giving us 3 player cards. So that's 9 cards in total. Get 3 copies of each. That's 27 cards of your 30 card deck. The only things we haven't seen yet are the player specific. The Phoenixborn specific cards. We have not seen those, and we haven't been teased very much yet on what is coming out in this. I believe they're called the Horde aspect and the Death aspects. We don't know what we're exactly getting in these aspects coming at us. So I'm assuming we're going to be seeing a couple more previews coming up here. One giving us more glimpse on those Phoenixborn specific cards, and one giving us some glimpses into the different aspects that we're going to be facing off in this one. I think the hype is real. This one's going to be a really neat expansion set. I really think it's going to break the mold a little bit. Blight of Neverset, it was a great set. It was I think it played it a little bit safe, but I think this one is going to go in a little bit of a different route, and I am all for it. This is going to be, I think, a challenging deck to play with, mainly because so many cards require you to have that power side available. Maybe not. There we go. There's another one, and so we do have so many cards that do require the power side. Luckily, we did get this ally that when it comes into play, you can reveal a card, and then you get to change. One die in your active pool to a side of your choice. So you can actually get a divine power side with this particular card. But that's the only card in this deck that allows you to do that. So I'm assuming you're going to probably want to use a little bit of, like, say, Maeoni's precon deck, where it's a Call Upon the Realms that allows you to switch dice to the sides of your choice. You're going to need some dice manipulations, I think, if you're going to want to play around with this particular deck, since so many of them do need that power side. But I digress. This was another great preview we got here, another big set of cards. Really like this one. I really like Fork Lightning. That's a really nice card. I really like it. I really enjoy that one. Intercession is going to be really actually kind of neat as well. It's very versatile. As long as you have some divine magic in your dice pool, I believe it can splash into anything especially with units that have large lives and do also large attacks. Really cool preview. Once again, my name is Ryan from Mr. Rouse Gaming, and if you are enjoying videos like these, please consider putting a like on this video, subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell. I do live playthroughs every Tuesday evening, and I also release little videos like this one every now and then. You want to be notified every time that all that stuff comes out on this channel. All right, folks, that's all I have for us today. So until the next Siege of Lordswall preview comes out, cheers and have yourselves a great evening. Bye, everybody.